Hi there, beautiful souls. How are you today? How are you feeling? So much has been coming up for me lately. I finally listened to that golden song that's been out, that's been such a hit with all the kids. When I'm doing the piano lessons in the afternoon, they're all, singing these K-pop Demon Hunter songs. And I finally understood the magic of that song. And for some reason, when I finally listened to it, I paid attention to it, so much was coming up for me, so much. And even my daughter was saying to me the other day, or yesterday, why is this song so important? Why is it such a big deal? And she doesn't understand because her whole life, my husband and I, we've always taken a step back and we've allowed her to be her. We've never tried to impose any beliefs on her or tried to tell her that she needs to be this or that or the other. We've just allowed her to unfold. And so many times, to be honest, because she isn't full of judgments of this is bad and this is wrong and all this stuff, many times I actually go to her for advice, because I know she's untouched by this world as much as the rest of us have been, And as I'm listening to this song, there was so much coming up, about as little ones, I'm sure this is going to resonate with many of you, that we were to be seen but not heard. And for me, for such a huge part of my life, I just felt shut down, and as I got older, many of the relationships I had were always telling me that I was too much, too loud, too much energy, and so the song really resonated with me. And the fact that it was called Golden, and, as soon as I saw the word, I felt like that song was written for me, because my energy is golden. And it's one of the few that I've seen that is that color. There are so many beautiful energies out there. Some are this pure white that's hard to describe, but it's just so blissful when I'm in the presence of that gorgeous energy, And crushed diamonds, there's been a few that I've seen. And for me, they're very highly evolved beings, the ones that I've witnessed that have this gorgeous energy that looks like crushed diamonds. It's so beautiful to witness. But for a long time, a really long time, while I was doing the Reiki sessions, I was the only one that I witnessed that had gold, the golden energy. And I was like, what does that mean? Even in energy, I'm different. Even when I'm looking at all these energies, there's no one the same. It was like, I felt like my whole life I was this alien. I just didn't fit in anywhere. I didn't fit in at school. I didn't have any friends. And to be honest, I was quite happy because I always had my nose stuck in some book. I was trying to learn something, read something, or I was in some fantasy. I loved reading fantasy books where you'd be off in this completely other world, that had nothing to do with this world. I just loved those sorts of books that would transport you to these amazing places, So from very little, I was so different, that honestly, recently I was remembering that growing up, I always thought I was adopted. I was waiting for the moment my parents were going to tell me, okay, we're going to tell you the truth now, you're adopted. You're not really our child, And because I didn't feel like, I didn't have anything in common with my mum. I loved my dad, but there was a lot of stuff that he talked about that to me didn't resonate. It didn't make sense. As much as I loved him, it didn't feel right for me, for my path, And so, but I had everything I needed. My mum was a devout Catholic. My dad was an atheist. So I got to see two completely different views of life. I couldn't have asked for better parents, So they gave me everything I needed for my path, But for a really, really long time, I just felt like I didn't fit in anywhere. And for so long, I was told that I was too loud, that I was too much energy, too much. So for those of you out there that feel like the black sheep of the family, because that's how I felt, that's how I feel. I don't see things like the rest of my family. I just can't, like any of them, to be honest, like any of them. And so, if this is you, know within yourself that it's okay. There's a reason for it. And when you align with your beautiful higher purpose, all of that will make sense of why. And divine timing was another thing I was reminded of today with this beautiful golden song, and learning the story of the beautiful girl that created all the songs for that movie. She was quite young. She went into that world of becoming a K-pop idol, but she wasn't perfect. She wasn't the perfect idol. So she never got to debut, or whatever it is that they call it when they get their moment to become famous. She never got that. And so she could have given up and gone into something else. It reminded me of the years and years and years of me believing, writing all of these books and believing there's a reason for all of this. I have to keep following that guidance. It doesn't make sense right now, for so many years where the books were just sitting there and no one's reading them because nobody knows they're out there. And all the beautiful courses I've been guided to create. All the years that I've spent studying the beautiful process of forgiveness, all of it. When the time is right, it will reach the people it's meant to reach. I don't know, there was something about her story today that it resonated so deeply within me. It gave me this sense of peace, that it's okay, that it doesn't matter if it takes 20 years, 30 years. This time is not real, it's an illusion. But us being true to who we truly are, being authentic, never stepping away from who we truly are. For me, I spent so many years not being able to express who I truly am that I will no longer compromise. If it is not meant for that person, then it's okay. I don't have a problem with that. If it doesn't resonate with others, I'm okay with that. Because I know within my heart that there will be some that this information does resonate with. There will be some that these messages are meant for, and they will find it. They are meant to find it. And that's why I keep creating, and I keep creating, and I keep following guidance, and I keep being me. So in this beautiful video, that's what we are encouraging you to do. Just be you. Keep being you, whether you're loud, whether you're quiet, whether you're shy. One of the beautiful beings I love following when they do their full-time purpose each time, he always talks about how shy he was, that it was so hard for him to start recording videos because he's so painfully shy. And yet now when he speaks, there's so much within that just resonates for me with him. This being alone thing for so long, being in my own company. But there's a difference. Going through school, I never felt alone. I never felt lonely in my aloneness. You can be alone and be completely at peace in that space, completely enjoy in that space. One of the moments in my life where I felt the most lonely, I was surrounded by family. It was when I was going through my first depression and I had a partner. I was completely in love with this first partner that I had. At the time, he was the love of my life. I couldn't imagine my life without him. I had all that, and yet I didn't want to be here anymore. I was done. So I know It has nothing to do with being surrounded with other beings or not. Loneliness. It's about how you're feeling inside. And for me, loneliness comes more from our feeling separate. We feel separate from others, but more importantly, we feel separate from Source. And it is that separation that makes us feel that we are so alone. Because the moment I began doing Reiki and I felt that energy between my hands, and I cried. And every time I would bring it back, I would cry. Because there was a remembering that I've never been separate. I've never been alone. It has been there the whole time, this beautiful energy that we call spirit, that we call God. I wasn't expecting to feel anything, so when I did, I was just blown away. This is real. This energy is real, and I can feel it. So, my beautiful beings, know that the more different you are, the more unique you are, the more you are needed. We never came here to fit in. We never came here to be the same as anyone else. We came here because the way we express ourselves is so different. And it's meant to be that way, to assist others on their journey, to shift their perspective, to see things differently, to see things in a whole new light that without us, they may never see. So know that you have whatever gifts that you have within you. However it is that you see the world, you see others. It is needed in this world. It is important. It matters. And know within your heart that the people that you are looking for to connect are looking for you. Because only you can speak the way you speak. Only you can express the way you express yourself. Whether it's through art, whether it's through music, whether it's through dance, however it is that you express yourself. So, my beautiful beings, know that you are unique for a reason, you are different for a reason, and that you haven't fit in all this time because you weren't meant to. We're not meant to. Those that become leaders, those that are here to show a different way of being, the way showers, so to speak, we don't follow the pack. We can't follow the pack. If we do, how can we show you a different way? You know, my daughter, when she was younger, she wanted to know more about composition, about chords, about what chords work together, what don't work together. And I've had a few students along the way with the same questions. And I'll teach them the very, very, very basic theory of it, of what has worked so far, of the rules and the theory of it so far, but very little. And when they ask me why I don't share more or expand more, it's because I don't want them to get into a box. I don't want them to, okay, these are the 4 walls and this is the only way it can be done. Because how can we create new if we're just constantly going back to the old and just doing it the same way over and over and over again? How can new be brought forward? Infinite possibilities. How can we step into the infinite possibilities if we don't let go of the old? If we keep going back to how it was done before, how it's always been done? How can we create something new, a new sound, a new beat, a new rhythm, a new anything? It comes from tapping into what hasn't been done yet. It comes from tapping into the unknown. From experimenting with the sounds that are already here. But what happens if I mix this with that now? What does that sound like? And that's what we're here for. So, my beautiful beings. And I think what was coming through, because I haven't finished watching, I started watching the K-pop Demon Hunters yesterday because I fell in love with that song so much. I wanted to know the story. And I fell in love with her story as well. The person that created all the songs, the composer, that I wanted to know. You know, I wanted to see the movie. And what was coming through just as we finished, because we had to start dinner and we'd run out of time, this beautiful being was showing up with these patterns that were supposed to be the demon patterns. But they were demon hunters. She was a part of a trio that were demon hunters that spent their whole lives dedicated to that. And yet she was born with these beautiful patterns. So I think what was coming through towards the end is what this whole book is about. I am light. I am dark. We are all of it. And it's about owning all of it, loving all of it. So I can't wait to see the end of the movie, and I'll let you guys know what's come through. But it is about learning to love the dark. You know, we spend our whole lives and we're taught that it's wrong, that it's bad. But the darkness exists for a reason. And it's learning to love all of it. You know, yesterday I received this message from one of my spiritual friends, and she kept talking about, oh, I found myself judging this and judging that. And the word judge, every time she said it, just had this weight to it. It just felt so heavy. And all I kept hearing as I'm listening to her is, love that about yourself. Love that you judged it. Love all of it. It's part of your human experience. Love it. Why is it bad? Why is it wrong? We decided that judgment is bad. We just decided that the ego is bad, that it's evil, that it's corrupt somehow, that it's it's bad, it's wrong. The ego's job is to keep you in the human experience. And guess what? That's what you're doing here. You are here having a human experience. That's what the soul desired. That's why it's here, or it wouldn't be here at all. And your ego is what makes it possible. All your judgments, all your beliefs that keep you limited, keep you in your human experience. So love it all, because you're here for it all. All right, my beautiful beings. We love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.